Okay, welcome everyone. This is the Sprint 5 review meeting. It's been a 1 week sprint. Uh, Again, the goals of the sprint are the review. We're just going to review what we've done and what was not done, and then we're going to present that work to you, stakeholders, and we celebrate. Again, we always ask that you hold your questions until time permits at the end, and then we'll try to document those questions and make sure everything's going through John and Steve as the product owners. Um, Again, please mute. We really appreciate it. Helps everything run a little smoother. Um, Here's the overview of the project schedule so far for phase one. As you can see, we are in week 15 of the project. This was initially scheduled as a retrospective week, and we chose to do a 1 week sprint, mainly focusing on the first pilot site, which is the graduate school. And here is the backlog. As you can see, many of the ticket names reference the graduate school as well. And just really quick to give you a demo or just a review of the demos that we've done so far. In demo one, Larry took us through just some basic content editing and page layout. He created a page, demonstrated some of the various fields, and showed you some of the publishing options along with user roles and adding multimedia and showing you how some of the navigation is generated. In Sprint 2, Ryan took us through some SSL support. He showed us how to create a calendar. We created a general page, looked at how that taxonomy and the descriptions are created, and he even walked us through some of the accessibility, the 508 compliance that we're looking at as we go through and build the site. And one of the big features in that sprint was also the portal RSS. And then we just looked at some of the enabled modules and some of the site manager role and senior editor role as well. Next, in Sprint 3, Reese took us through just some of the really quick, some of the site installation, some of the optional features for setting up the calendar and the starter theme, and some of the content migration, and just mainly how we're pulling in some of the menu items with the content. And also, we went through some of the content layout and what we're doing with the starter theme and some of the menu responsiveness and the styling that's being built in, along with some of the style plugins for the navigation. And one of the other pieces we really got into that sprint was the Google Search appliance and getting that configured and ready for use. And most recently, in Sprint 4, Robin took us through just some of the module updates, um, and showed us how just going through some of the graduate school data and the migration process, and shows and how we installed Drupal using the UMN profile, it adds the database tables that are provided, and then we unzip some of the asset files and imported those files such as PDFs, or docs, and image files that are attached, and then also it references some of the URLs. And then some of the theming, we looked at the web form in some of the form styling options and looked at some of the typography and landing page with panes. And she created some tabs and even some with accordion or as an accordion, and then went through some of the basic features of the header and footer. And now here we are in Sprint 5. And today, a lot of this is going to focus on content layout. And I'm about to turn this over to Ryan as he gets ready to do the demo. And it's really going to focus on styling and the configuration and formatting, and then some of the just really quick some of the user roles. So Ryan, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to turn this, make you the presenter.
All right, everyone should be able to see my screen. I'm flipping it over to screen two. So can everyone see the site?
It looks good for me, Ryan.
Perfect. All right. So welcome everyone to the Sprint demo. Before I get started, I want to say a huge thanks to everyone who has been contributing and has been providing us with resources and has helped us move very quickly this last sprint. Particular shout out to Ryan DeBaker for his continuing work with the migration, having done some of that myself today. That worked perfectly. Thank you. And also to Jordan for being very responsive very quickly with some much needed theming information. So with that in mind, moving forward, The first thing I want to show is that I am actually logged in right now. One of the issues was discussed was that the authenticated user role would potentially have permissions, but that has since been corrected, and even logged in right now, I have no special permissions. So that we can actually start demoing thing, I'm going to go ahead and log out and log in as the administrator. Excellent. So this is the home page. It's set up as per the specs and as per the documentation. The various elements you see here are the hero image, the announcements, the site links, and then the front box. Additionally, we have a responsive drop-down menu here, styled as per the designs. The subheader and the subfooter are also correctly configured and ready to go. As far as configuration goes, we wanted to put a very strong emphasis on making sure that everything was easy to configure and in some circumstances very easy to redeploy. So we'll do announcements first. Announcements could not be simpler. There is a section, and to edit it, you simply click on the cogwheel here. Use the provided text editor to input whatever content you feel is appropriate. And then when you're done, you click Save. And that will display on the front page. Additionally, the site links is something that I wanted to make redeployable because I could see a circumstance under which someone might want to deploy these site links on another page. So with that in mind, what these are is actually a style plugin. The style plugin is applied to the region, so to change it, you just click on the paintbrush for the region. You select the site link style from the list, and then after that, you'll get a series of configuration items. You'll be able to input a title and a link for each item. You'll fill those in. You can direct those to whatever page you want, either inside the site or externally. And when you're done, you'll click Save at the bottom. The footer blocks are similarly their own entity, and you can add more to wherever you feel like, or you can change the ones that are already here. These are fully responsive, and that is something that I will show off momentarily. But to edit them, you just click the cogwheel, and after that, each individual item has a title, a URL, and text. The URL is completely optional, so if you don't want the title of the block to be a link, you can just omit the URL. You fill it out for each of the blocks, and when you're done, click Save. So that concludes the functionality aspect of it, and I know that responsiveness is something that everyone was wanting to see. So as it shrinks down, we go from desktop to a Finder window. As it starts to collapse, and now it's gone into tablet mode. And as it continues to shrink, the menu itself, the administrative menu, will become responsive. I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And then eventually it goes all the way into mobile mode and still remains perfectly readable. So the next thing that I wanted to show was the text. And this is content that was pulled in via the migration that Ryan DeBaker provided. Thank you again for making that a very straightforward process for us. And this is a 3-column layout. This is the secondary menu with the link styled according to the designs. And this is a right sidebar. The headers have been changed to meet the designs as well, as have the list and the links. This content here is what actually came, and the center is what came out of the import. Other things that have been styled has been the blocks, the header, which I've already mentioned, the subheader, subfooter, and the page background that was provided by Jordan has been integrated. And that was everything that I wanted to show for the moment. This was a very theming heavy sprint, and the aesthetics have been taken care of. Additionally, if anyone is interested, this page is fully responsive as well. Or at least it's supposed to be. There we go. Collapses down into menu, content, and then sidebars. So at this juncture, did anyone have any questions? Will there be an opportunity to tweak the layout, for example, the size of the columns on the secondary page or the placement size of announcements on the home page? That is all fully customizable, yes. The size of these things are not customizable through the UI. You will have full access, however, to the code, and you will either be able to modify the existing code or create your own subtheme with whatever overrides that you see fit to do. Were there any other questions? Fortunately, even if you're not very technically smart, it won't be overly complicated. The CSS required to adjust the sizes, the CSS required to adjust the size of things is not overly complicated.
So, Ryan, for the site links,
Yes.
you showed being able to edit the title and the URL. Is the URL something that can be picked from a drop-down to make sure it's correct?
That isn't something we've currently built, but it is something that we can discuss building in the future.
Okay, thank you.
I noticed that the navigation at the top, when you moused over, it pulled up menus. Are those clickable to bring up the menu as well?
What do you mean by clickable to bring up the menu?
Like if you click on it, does it?
At this particular moment, it's controlled by drop-downs, but I believe that it is configured to be accessible, if that's what you're wondering.
Yes, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you can, it's Superfish based, which allows you to use the tab key to tab through the links, and then if you press the down arrow while one of them is focused, I think it'll expand it. And also if you are on, say, Distinguished Master's Thesis and you hit tab, it'll tab to the first child link of that. So if you were to use the tab key instead of the mouse to get there, and you might have to move your cursor. Because when your cursor, yeah, there we go.
And what I'm doing right now, I'm doing entirely through my keyboard.
Yeah, we can see that your cursor is not moving, but that you're tabbing through. So those are keyboard accessible.
So that's the tab key you're using, Ryan?
Yes.
Thank you.
That was an excellent question. Were there any others?
Yeah, again, if you have any questions, feel free to, you can put them in the chat log or certainly now just ask away.
So the question here is, will the drop-downs on the base theme be accessible as well? And the answer to that is, by default, Superfish will be installed but not enabled. So the menus that come out of the box will not be drop-downs. But if someone were to choose to enable Superfish and then do whatever styling they felt appropriate, yes, those drop-downs would be accessible.
Okay, so looks like that answers Chris's question, and David is also saying that they use Superfish, so I think that'll be a easy piece for them to turn on and off as they desire.
That was the idea. We chose Superfish for a few reasons, not the least of which is the sheer amount of out-of-the-box functionality that Superfish provides to non-technical users, as well as its accessibility. Alrighty,
Okay.
well, if there aren't any further questions, then Tom, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and thanks everyone for coming.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. I'll just take it back.
All right.
Okay, you guys able to see my screen now?
I'm able to
I
see
can
it.
indeed.
Okay. Okay, and here's just a really quick list of some other items that we completed during the sprint, but they weren't in the demo. They just some things just don't lend themselves to being shown on the screen very easily. And so we did some work on some features and did a bit more on content layout and just some of the base installation as well. And then we actually had a couple items that were in the sprint, but we did not complete. Uh, One is user authentication. We're still working on that. We're very close to getting that, and it's just been unsuccessful in testing. And we're getting that new subscription tested, and we have an Acquia ticket number. We're working with John and Steve to get everything straightened out for that. And then also on the Memcache ticket, that is a work in process. It was we thought we were very close to having that working, and then the testing it just didn't pass QA before we got ready on one of the Acquia subscriptions. Action items going forward. Um, again, we'll just add or update user stories as needed. We'll start another sprint um, Monday, December 30th, which is after a holiday break for us and most of you guys as well. And then that sprint review will be on January 10th. So the next sprint will be a full 2-week sprint, and then again, any ongoing QA and feedback that we need, UMN folks, just let us know. And then on the Palantir side, of course, we're going to be hammering out the user authentication and that Memcache piece. And we'll hit the ground running on December 30th to get the sprint planned out and make sure we've got the right items in that sprint. And again, we just really like to say thank you. We love working with the project team at UMN, John Starr and Steve Wynn. You guys are doing a great job as product owners, and I think everyone at this point can tell that Ryan DeBaker is an all-star for us. He's really done a lot of work and is really gone above and beyond at every step when we ask for anything. He delivers it very quickly, and it's always right on the money. And Christina Goodland, Jim Hart, David, Jordan, you guys, you're doing an awesome job of helping us get through the design process. It took a lot of planning, and there's always a lot of back and forth. And Molly, you're the first pilot site, and so we want to thank you for bravely volunteering, and we look forward to working with you in the next sprint and getting everything migrated over and seeing what all we can do. So that's all. That's also a thank you in advance for you, Molly, because we know you're going to be working hard in 2 weeks after Christmas. And at this point, we just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays. The team at Palantir, we put together a holiday site, and we like to share that with everyone. And it's all about let's make something good together. And we try to do that all year round, but we really focus on the holidays, and just wanted to wish everyone at UMN happy holidays. And if you get a chance, go check out the site. Many folks from our team, most of it's just really quick write-ups of maybe how-tos, how to do something good. Some of them are recipes. Some of them are just general. There's one even about how to build a good website. So if you get a chance, check it out. And again, it's great working with you guys, and happy holidays. And that concludes the demo.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming.